Well, the Dallas Cowboys, another season of so much promise, seemingly went right out the window as soon as Dak Prescott went down for the year with his injury. And the Cowboys, they are fighting for what exactly? I'm not sure. The Cowboys are trying to keep Mike McCarthy for some reason from being fired. The Cowboys are likely going to finish this year 7-10, get a middle of the road draft pick in the first round, and not find anyone who can help them. So this Cowboys team is completely in disarray, and the disarray, like I said, it starts at the very top. And but this Cowboys team, the only positives that I can tell right away from this team, it looks like Rico Dowdle, the Cowboys running back, could be the first undrafted running back to have 1,000-yard season. And the Cowboys beat the Eagles on Sunday. It will not be for any playoff hopes for the Cowboys, but it will be just because you want to beat your hated rival no matter what. And throw the records out the window, throw everything out the window whenever the Cowboys and the Eagles get together. So, like I said, I'm expecting anything and everything. But if I'm being completely honest about it, I'm probably expecting a Philly blowout. The game's in Philly. Philly has played really well this year. And Jalen Hurts, will he play or not? That remains to be seen. And a healthy Jalen Hurts under center. And Philadelphia probably does not allow Washington to beat them, and probably does not allow the Cowboys to be eliminated from postseason play. But this Cowboys team is a wounded duck. Ever since Dak Prescott went down with injury, Cooper Rush is not the answer. At backup quarterback, he is not good. He had his best game against a very bad Carolina team, and that's not going to be surpassed anytime soon. And there was a time when I wanted to see Trey Lance and see what he could do on a team that isn't going anywhere. But the Cowboys coaches have seen Trey Lance in preseason. They've seen Trey Lance in practice. And clearly they are not impressed with Trey Lance and whatever he brings to the table. So I don't want to see Trey Lance, even though the Cowboys did they lost a fourth-round pick to obtain the services of Trey Lance. So it's a high price to pay when you consider the Dallas Cowboys drafted Dak Prescott in the fourth round of the 2016 NFL Draft. So we'll see how that turns out. But the Cowboys are not going to make the playoffs this year. But as the old saying goes, there's always next year. But of course, there's question marks for next year too. Will Jerry Jones decide to bring back Mike McCarthy? And I was one of the ones who was ultimately thinking that this Cowboys team, the way that they underachieved, I thought Mike McCarthy deserved to be fired. But Cowboys brought him back. Now the thing I'm wondering is if Mike McCarthy is fired, the Cowboys are literally in the same situation that they were before last year started. The Cowboys have a lot of holes, and the Cowboys are never active in free agency. They never sign any of the top guys in free agency. But one thing that the Cowboys do is they are the most popular team in the NFL. They are the most valuable franchise in the National Football League. And so Jerry Jones still can gaslight the fans and convince them that the Cowboys are just one move away, one player away from getting back to the Super Bowl. But we will see. This Cowboys team, like I said, the Dallas Cowboys, it's never been a question of talent on this team. It's always been about the extra stuff. And the Cowboys, they have some bright spots. Like I said, Michael Parsons on defense, Cavante Turpin at the return game, he is a bright spot. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker. There is anything that is not 70 or above, he could probably have a good shot to make it. Uh, and so he's been a bright spot on a bad team. And this Cowboys squad, they're a mess from top to bottom. They are an absolute mess. And this team needs to look in the mirror and make some tough decisions this offseason. Jerry and Stephen Jones, congratulations. They've got some tough decisions to make coming up this offseason, and particularly with who is going to head coach the Dallas Cowboys next year. And now that Bill Belichick is coaching North Carolina, it sure seems like the big fish is off the board. Although I really don't think Bill Belichick would have ever came to a place like Dallas, because having to answer to someone like Jerry Jones is something that probably Bill Belichick just had to go through in New England with Robert Kraft. And so now that that is going on, and now that we see how well that turned out, especially look at the Patriots without Tom Brady, and this Patriots team now with Gerard Mayo, and they look like a team that has completely forgotten the lessons of the Patriot way. But they could always be worse, and you can't get much worse than the Patriots. But the Dallas Cowboys, at least they're not the New York Jets. The Jets are a mess, and the Jets have Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets are just completely dysfunctional. And apparently, Aaron Rodgers was asked about his future, and he said, "Go ask Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, whether or not Rodgers can come back next year." If I'm Aaron Rodgers, who knows what that is in that head of his. But if I'm the Jets, and if Rodgers wants to come back, if he wants to continue to have his way with the Jets will probably bring him back, even though these 2 years with the Jets have been a complete disaster. I know his first year was taken away from him with that injury, 3 plays in, but the second year, the team has just been horrible. And if you are the Jets, and the Jets are a mess, they're a dumpster fire. But every year I hear the same thing with the Jets. I hear the same thing with the Giants. Every year, New York is back. And every year, New York is not back. So we'll find out eventually how this all turns out. But it's just very interesting to see a team like Kansas City. They are the best team in the league by far. They've only lost one game all year. And of course, now with the injury to Patrick Mahomes, we'll see how things will be any different. But they play Christmas Day against the Steelers, and that will be a good game. We'll see if Kansas City can come back and find a way to get a win.